Yeah, I've had a little interesting question that I wanted to answer myself. How much damage can an Asteroid Shaman actually do? I'm talking if they draw optimally and play Shudder on 6 and then Incendious on 7, as well as having a ton of spell damage. If you're playing a particularly slow deck, is it even possible for you to stop an Asteroid Shaman from killing you over a couple of turns? Let's find out. I have a game here. Let's jump in. This is me playing the Starship Priest versus an Asteroid Shaman. And I think this is kind of like a good example of kind of maximum output from defensively from my deck and maximum output from damage from their deck. Obviously, a good way to kill this type of Shaman deck is to kill them before they get to Shudder and Incendious turns. Can be a little bit tricky. Once Incendious drops, they have some board clear potential. If you are playing something like a Death Knight or maybe a Control Warrior, you might struggle a little bit. I don't know what the maximum health gain and maximum armor gain of a Control Warrior and DK is, but it might just be a terrible matchup. When I play against this deck on stream, I'll throw out numbers and just say, this Asteroid Shaman deck can probably deal upwards of 100 to 200 damage. Because like I say, Asteroids can also hit minions, so if you're playing like a big minion deck, maybe like Dungar Druid, you might get away with it in some cases. Or maybe even Starship Druid might be able to outlast this style of deck, but I think in most cases it's pretty difficult. I've grabbed 2 Starship pieces and I played 1 4. This is the best line of play for my deck. Playing multiple Starship pieces on 4 and 5, and even 6 sometimes, is what you want to do with this deck. You want to build the Starship up, launch it with Exodar, or just launch it, and then start resurrecting it multiple times, and then using Rodden in particular, and trying to copy Rodden is a big deal against this particular deck. Because one, Rodden absorbs the damage, 2, he resurrects Starship pieces, which absorb more damage potentially, and then give you more armor. So currently, our opponent only has 3 of the asteroids inside the deck. And I have a little tracker in the bottom left. Keep an eye on that as the game progresses. I silenced the card draw because I don't want to take or have them draw additional cards. I've left the spell power up. It's arguable. I don't know, arguably you could silence the spell power there. It could make a decent bit of difference because they can't bounce that back into hand. But I think Totem's probably also an okay card to like kill off there. That minion buffs them. Yeah, we always continue to play Starships as the best course of action and then kill off the spell damage there. So this game I use as an example because our opponent had the Shudder on 6. I know they have coin there and they could have done it on 5 if they drew it a turn earlier, but they actually top deck it. So a Shudder on 6 into an Incendious on turn 7 is normally for a lot of decks, slower decks, this is kind of a losing position. Amenfold's a good player. I'm going to delete the 2 minions because it's unlikely Amenfold dies, because they haven't played Incendious, so it's likely that I'm going to get a turn of Amenfold copy next turn. Take Sonya there. At some point, I'm going to have 1 mana copies of the ship pieces through Exodar or Exodar. I don't know how to say that card. There is. So this is usually when it gets to this stage, if I'm playing any other deck and it's turn 7 and they have Shudder Incendious played, I'm usually saying to people, I'm probably going to lose. Because the level of damage and the level of targeted spell draw at this point in the game, usually you can't get out of range. And I've only got 31 HP currently. So it's not in the realms of, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could just blow me up next turn with a lot of spell damage. That's why I am going to grab Exodar and then just kill that Insidious off and copy the ship. So 38 HP and an additional 12 armor on board. We're looking good. And then triangulate with the spell power. Okay, here we go. 3. Pretty tame so far. 3 damage. I mean, and the good thing about Incendius is it clears the board for your asteroids to target face directly. There's 9. There's 13. So now the asteroids are just going to basically go face. 16. 19. So already that's 1 turn. So the setup was done through the Shudder Incendius. The turn after, they were able to deal 19 damage with good ordering because they triangulate the Incendius card, I believe. 22, 25 damage. So that's, almost enough to kill a deck that doesn't have armor, and they did it in a way where the asteroids were guaranteed. So if you're in a bad spot now, if you're not presenting lethal to your opponent, I can see why this deck is fairly boring to play against. If you're not presenting lethal to your opponent in this scenario right now, you're in a lot of trouble. Taking that into consideration, I actually launched this ship, but for double HP, based on we get armor based on the HP of that twice, because that was a pretty scary turn that they did there. I'm taking the ship launcher back because I have Rodden and it's going to be pretty useful. I think at this point now I won't bother counting it for you. The little asteroid tick will be at the bottom. I'll do that after. But just quickly, it's 32 damage, so that's enough to kill someone without armor on turn 9. That's not too gross, turn 9 being able to deal that amount of damage. It's not too horrendous, but now our opponent is shuddered with the asteroid buff. So I think all asteroids now are +6 with spell power of 7. And it does shuffle. Did I actually? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Jesus. Looking back at this, that is I know I'm a very particular type of deck designed to gain a lot of HP. But this is not the norm. Not many people play this style of deck. Not many people can generate this much armor and defense. Bearing in mind it's only turn 9, and you can see the asteroid damage in the bottom left. Alright, we go for a res highest cost Rodden. Kind of cheat him there because he has a full board. And as you can see, I need to have this amount of HP and minions and sticky survivability here. I do think once they do the Incendious turn with Shudder, it's really, really difficult because you can't stick board anymore. And if your minions aren't given armor like mine are, what are you going to do? You're probably just going to die. But it's going to be interesting at the end of the video to see kind of what the level of damage is. Also want to point out, Shamans, if you're playing a deck like this, Shamans will likely have a couple of minions tabled, because you don't have great ways to retaliate. So while you're taking all this damage to face, they're kind of like progressively getting a board bigger and bigger every turn. They got sometimes the spell damage just sticks because you can't kill it. Like, I can't dedicate a turn to remove their board. It's a lot of mana. My turns are now dedicated just to not dying via... Jesus, I got down to 9 HP there. I just have to dedicate my turns to gaining as much armor as possible. So their board's always likely going to stick. I've not counted how much minion damage they've dealt to me this game. Only the asteroid damage and how much is hitting face or hitting minions. I've also included, not asteroid damage, I've included the Incendious and asteroid damage as well, because I think that's That's fair. It's a shuffle deck. Okay, so they only traded just to make board space. They probably don't have to ever trade. Only just to acquire board space there. So there's more asteroids shuffled in. We've got 3 spell damage now. So I think the asteroids are set to 9. And the incendious shots are 5. Okay, here we go. A 9, a 5. Oh, their order was slightly... Oh, actually, no, the order wasn't slightly off there. I don't think that would have died anyway. Good God. Yeah, 9 damage asteroids are pretty scary. It's almost a Pyroblast turn, which is pretty absurd. It's only turn 11. It's not like this is super late into the game. We've taken our opponent to the 11th turn. I'm guessing right now they would have dealt around about 150 damage to me, if not more. For turn 11 for a deck to deal 150-ish plus damage with just shuffle spells in the deck and not even the minions or spells from hand is absurd. What's also absurd is that I'm able to gain that much HP as well. So that's 10, 12. They are decked. We're almost to the end of the game. I'm guessing there's a lot of damage. I think my prediction of around 200 damage in asteroids is pretty fair if they do it in this fashion. You know, if they do the perfect draw of, you know, triple casting Incendious, it should be around 200 damage. But the deck I'm playing kind of lets me see fully what their maximum output is. Because obviously I'm kind of an unkillable starship deck. So it's good fun to actually see. I think, is that the last one? That's the last one. So that is their maximum amount of damage. It's going to be on the screen right now, on the bottom left. So if you've ever played against an Asteroid Shaman and you've taken them this far, that's probably a good indication of how much damage you've defended against or kind of blocked. Oh, okay, there you go. It's over. As soon as I copy that, it's over. So there's the answer. Right, after running through and editing the video, 201 damage. I think I calculated all that correctly. Like I say, I've counted in the Incendious Blasts and the Asteroids because they're basically part of the same deck, shuffling in stuff. 201 damage by 10-12 is a crazy amount. Off the top of my head, I don't think a deck like DK or Control Warrior has enough time to get that much. Maybe Starship Druid, potentially. But they seem like really bad matchups. I think if you played against a lot of Asteroid Shamans, you probably just want to kill them quickly. But there's my answer. I hope that was an interesting video to kind of have 2 polar opposite decks fight against each other. One is solely focused on defense. One is solely focused on damage. But I think that might be... I think Asteroid Shaman might be the biggest outputter of damage on ladder. Because I didn't even factor in spells from hand and minion damage. So I wonder what the total damage they actually dealt to minions and my face. Right, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.
Quick, look over there.